Welcome to the MPAC Zoomcast. That's what we're calling it until we come up with a better name. I'm your humble host, Ed Kirschdorfer, Chief Operating Officer here at Mayo Performing Arts Center. And today we will have a special guest, Molly McDermott, who's with the cast of Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood Live, coming to the theater October 29th. It was great to catch up with Molly. She used to work here at MPAC during the past summer, and we're excited that she's out on her first professional tour, and we're going to find out what the show is like and what it's like being out on tour for the first time. But first, we have a few news and notes. So let's start it off with shows that are on sale. We have two new shows that went on sale today, Friday, October 20th. Dancing with the Stars Live returns to MPAC on January 14th. We have two shows on Sunday, January 14th, and The Piano Guys return on April 20th. That's the first time they've been back since pre-COVID. We also have a couple other shows that have recently went on sale. David Sedaris returns on April 17th, and The Price is Right Live. Always a fun show, and you can actually win prizes on this show. That is coming on April 9th. We'd like to give a big MPAC congratulations to Eileen Meyer. She's our October Volunteer of the Month. We have about 150 or so volunteers who help us all over the theater. You see them scanning your ticket or working concessions. And we congratulate Eileen for her efforts for MPAC over the past few years. And we thank all of our volunteers because they're out there making your experience special. Halloween is just around the corner. We will be participating in the townwide trick-or-treating on the 31st. So make sure you bring your little ones and stop by the theater after 3 p.m. and get some really sweet, tasty treats. So that's happening on Halloween. We also have two new art shows that have just been hung. On the Art Upstairs Gallery, the Morris County Art Association is displaying between now and the end of November. And in the Starlight Gallery, we have a photography exhibit by Zamaro, which is a really fascinating exhibit. And these galleries are open to ticket buyers during show nights. They're also available by appointment, and we have some open hours between 12 and 2 p.m. on Tuesday. So if you have a chance, check it out. That's the quick update. I'm gonna do a quick wardrobe change because I interviewed Molly the other day, and we'll be back with some tigertastic talk about Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood just after this.
See Dancing with the Stars live. America's favorite dance show is back on tour with an all-new show. With dazzling routines, jaw-dropping talent, and non-stop entertainment. Featuring your favorite Dancing with the Stars pros, plus special guest stars. Coming to Mayo Performing Arts Center, January 14th. It's sure to be an unforgettable night full of all the magic. Dancing with the Stars live. Get tickets now at mayoarts.org.
Welcome back to the Zoomcast. I'm Ed Kirschdorfer, Chief Operating Officer at Mayo Performing Arts Center. If you are a parent of a 1 to 5-year-old child, you're very likely familiar with the award-winning PBS animated series Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. An offshoot of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood follows the adventures of 4-year-old Daniel, his family, and friends as they navigate through life. The live version of the show is coming to the MPAC stage on Sunday, October 29th, for two shows at 2 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. And we are joined by cast member Molly McDermott for some grr-ific tigertastic talk. Hi, Molly. How's it going?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I am good. Now, Molly has a special relationship with MPAC. You want to tell everybody what that relationship is?
Yeah, sure. So I am a Morris Plains native. I grew up in Morris Plains and lived there for almost my entire life. And so MPAC was my home stage that I was going to visit all the time. When I was a kid, I used to go see all of these productions that I could beg my parents to take me to when I was in elementary school. So I saw a lot of them on the MPAC stage. And then that was the theater that I knew growing up. So once I graduated from college, I immediately applied for a job. So not only am I so excited to be back here performing on the MPAC stage, but I've also worked backstage as well in the programming office and had a great time learning so much about the behind the scenes process as well. So it feels really special getting to come back.
Yeah, Molly did a great job over the summer for our programming department. They miss you very much. They asked me,
Thank you, Ed. I miss that.
They might have a couple contracts for you to go through if you have some time when you're here, but this.
I'm traveling often, so I have a lot of time to kill in the band.
So I used to see Molly, like when she was working here, she would eat lunch because this bothered me. She would eat lunch
I know
outside by the loading bay, which is nice, but it was also about 6 feet from the dumpster, and it used to bother me so much. I was like, we have seats, we have chairs over there. And she, no, I'm okay. So if you do get, if you do get catering with this, I'm not sure if you do or not, you can eat in the catering room. It's okay. You don't have to eat by the dumpster. So just letting you know.
I might have to do it for old time's sake, though, and just because I know that it bugs you a little bit.
Well, tell us about the tour. This is your first tour, right? So tell us a little about how it's going and what the experience is like for you.
Yeah, this is my first tour. This is my first professional show that I've ever worked on either. And it's been a total blast. We just opened last week in Easton, Pennsylvania, and we're already in our 5th city doing our 6th performance this upcoming weekend. So it's been very quick turning around, but it has been so fun, especially once the kids got to see it for the first time and we got to see everyone in the audience singing and dancing along. And there's meet and greets after the show that you can purchase tickets for as well. And so once we started actually performing and sharing that with all the families, it has been the most fun I've ever had in my entire life.
Now, what character do you play in the show? And tell us a little about the show itself.
Yeah, sure. So I play Chrissy in Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood Live, King for a Day. Chrissy is Prince Wednesday's cousin, so she's just visiting in the neighborhood for the day, and she gets to go along with Daniel on his journey of getting to be the king of the neighborhood for just one day, as it's emphasized very much in the show that we're performing. Daniel's super excited to have all the power, and he has some big plans for what he's going to do on his day. And the show takes you on his journey as he learns that being a king and being a leader isn't really about getting to do whatever you want. It's about being kind and taking care of your neighbors and your friends.
So you're not wearing a big cat head?
I am not wearing a big cat head, and I will say I'm a little bit grateful for that, and I have so much respect for the people who are.
Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, offshoot of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Yes.
The Rogers company has something to do with this performance. Do they come to you and talk to you about the ethic of Fred Rogers and what his productions stand for?
Yes, very much so. And I learned so much from that because we started doing that right at the beginning of the rehearsal process. Something that the show really emphasizes and something that Mr. Rogers always wanted to teach in all of his programming was that kindness is something that you have to choose. It's not something that necessarily comes naturally to people. And that's something that's hard for kids to understand. And that's something that Mr. Rogers really understood and always tried to emphasize in his programming. So that was so helpful from the beginning, is making sure that kids understand that it's a conscious choice that you can make and see all the positive benefits of it. The show's also really fun to perform because the families can connect to it both through the kids who are familiar with Daniel Tiger and the parents who are usually familiar with the original Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. A lot of the songs are the same, and we have the trolley that comes out and you sing the trolley song and travel through the neighborhood, and a lot of the costumes mirror the costumes from the original Mr. Rogers as well. So it's really fun to see how people can connect from both sides of that too, and come together and watch the show and have these different angles, but also experience the show at the same time.
I know you said this is your first professional tour, but in comparing it to maybe something you may have done at college or whatever, what's the difference, or is there a difference when you're performing a show to families with young children versus maybe an older audience?
I think something that's really exciting about doing this show with children who are so young in the audience is that for most of them, it's their first time ever going to see theater. And so it makes it really fun for us to know that on stage, because we all remember the first time that we went. I remember mine, it was at MPAC, and I saw If You Give a Mouse a Cookie when I was in kindergarten, and it was awesome. And so we all remember that experience, and it clearly defined our lives so much because we're all working in the performing arts professionally now. So it's fun for us in that sense. And then it's also fun because they're learning what it means to go to the theater and support the performing arts and find community in your local performing arts center. So some of those children aren't familiar with even like clapping learning etiquette after songs, or they're also learning to sit in their seats and to be quiet during the show, but also participate when it's appropriate. And so we're very comfortable and experienced with that, and having children who are coming to see the show for the first time. So that's something that is invited, and for everyone to learn what it means to be an audience member alongside learning what it means to be a good member of the neighborhood. So it's fun to watch that learning process as well.
Were you young enough? Was the show around when you were a child, or?
No, I missed it, but my dad definitely made me watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
My son, who's now 9, we had our experiences at Daniel Tiger Neighborhood. So I think we may have seen it the first time it was at the theater. Maybe, I'm not sure. It's scary that I don't remember that because it was only a few years ago. So. But I know that being here for the show, it was definitely here for the show, not with my son than just working the show, but it was just like,
yeah, I'm sure, right?
The energy that's in the crowd, and the kids go nuts, and it's such a fun experience. And the 5:30 performance is a sensory friendly performance. So we're making it so we're doing we're a little bit, the show's a little bit modified. The house lights are up a little bit, so we want children on the autism spectrum or with any specific needs to feel welcome at our theater, and to enjoy the show itself. So that's always exciting when we can provide that opportunity for our audience.
Yes, I'm so excited that there's a sensory friendly performance, and we get a lot of training about how to handle that as well. And like I was saying, we're pretty used to audiences engaging in whatever extent they're comfortable doing so and used to doing so. So we're excited to present the same quality of programming, no matter which performance you choose to come to.
There, so.
Yeah, my character Chrissy is on some episodes of Daniel Tiger, but she doesn't live in the neighborhood. She is disabled, and she walks with crutches and with use of a walker, and she has braces on her legs. And so they chose to include her in the stage version of the show, even though she isn't one of the main characters that's in every single episode, because it's just exciting to see how the kids get to interact with that for the first time. I am disabled and invisibly so, and so that's not something that I often disclose initially when I'm meeting people. And it's been really fun getting to do the show and exploring that aspect of my identity as well. And then also seeing how kids interact with disability for the first time. The neighborhood's very diverse, and so it's really nice that kids get to see that on stage, accurately representing their communities. I think it's funny that you ask how to balance seeing these characters on stage and on screen, because that's kind of a question that we ask ourselves all the time. I think something that kids can really tell is authenticity, and they kind of know when you're making stuff up or faking it a little bit, and they can call you on that. So you really have to find a balance of making sure that you are accurately representing these characters that they love, and they make sure that you know that they love those characters, and also making sure that you're finding a little bit of yourself too in that, or they can kind of tell that it's not totally authentic. So it's definitely a balance, and we try to be very, very true to the TV show, but I think there's a little bit of extra magic that happens in person when you see a real person behind all of that as well, connecting to the same show that everyone else is connecting to.
We're talking with Molly McDermott, the cast of Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, King for a Day, coming to Mayo Performing Arts Center October 29th for 2 performances. How many performances, how long is your tour? How many performances do you do a week? And have you kind of calculated in your mind how to manage your energy over the course of a week? How much time do you get for yourself? That's I'm always fascinated. And if you're traveling from town to town and town to town, what's that like? And I know you've only been doing it for a week, so
yeah,
maybe I should check in with you in a month or something, or I don't know, but.
Yeah, right. We have over 50 performances scheduled right now, and that's across, last time I counted, about 25 or 26 states. So it's definitely a marathon, not a sprint, because that's spread over about 4 to 5 months at this point of touring. It's really interesting learning how to get used to working certain days of the week. And then we have a lot of travel, so we're traveling all the way around. I will say it's a lot easier to get used to it once the kids are in the audience, because they will give you so much energy and enthusiasm, and then it becomes a lot easier to give that back. I think it would be easier to get a little bit more sluggish as this show goes on if we didn't have that, but because it's so exciting and invigorating every time you step out into that crowd of kids who are so excited to see the show, it's a lot easier than I was anticipating it being.
What has surprised you in your experience of rehearsing and now getting on stage for this show that you maybe did not expect when you first were cast for this?
I think I just didn't really think about the fact that it's kids theater, but it is really being produced at this very, very, very high quality. And so I wasn't expecting so much the rigor that we would be going through at the beginning of this rehearsal process. And that was a mistake, because children's theater gets taken very seriously by everyone involved, and everyone is there because they love it and care about it. But there's this level of authenticity behind it too. So it's been so exciting to be doing this very high quality and caliber of production with these beautiful sets and lighting and the most gorgeous, intricate costumes that look just like you see on the screen. And then also having this more condensed show, because we don't really want kids to be watching a show for 3 hours long, right? So it's very quick paced as we're going through, and similar to the way that Daniel Tiger is when you see it on TV. And that's been really fun to learn about how children's theater, even though it might be shorter, should not be taken any less seriously, because people are working so hard to make it happen.
Great. And is it true that this is not your first time on our stage? That you were in Morristown on stage years ago? Is this, I heard a rumor.
That is true. I was in Morristown on stage in 2015, and it was the coolest night of my life at that time. I thought I was so famous for being on the MPAC stage, and I still feel that way a little bit.
Well, we're all looking forward to seeing you on stage and back at MPAC. We miss you, and we wish you the best of luck on this tour. And we thank you for spending a few minutes with us today. And it's Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. It is Sunday, October 29th at 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. There's more information about the show on our website, mayoarts.org, or you could go to danieltigerlive.com. Thank you so much, Molly. Thanks for being on. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm so excited to see you guys soon.
The beloved musical is back with an all-new show. It's Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood Live, King for a Day, October 29th at Mayo Performing Arts Center in Morristown. Get ready for a royally good time in this grr-ific musical adventure with brand new songs, dances, surprise characters, and more. Don't miss Daniel and all his friends in Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood Live, King for a Day, October 29th at Mayo Performing Arts Center in Morristown. Tickets at mayoarts.org.
Celebrate the magic of the holidays with Girl Named Tom. One More Christmas Tour. Girl Named Tom, December 10th, Mayo Performing Arts Center. On sale now at mayoarts.org. Don't miss Girl Named Tom. Live.
That's the Zoomcast for this week. Thanks for watching. For any information about Mayo Performing Arts Center, go to our website, mayoarts.org. Download our app. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram. We have lots of fun news going on, fun things going on in the theater. You can check everything out there. And we'll see you at the theater soon.